Hey guys, it's Leanne. Today I just want to talk to you a little about things to know to help you get hired. I know that a lot of you are just starting the process, and hopefully this video will make that a little bit easier for you. So, first thing is that you should don't pay attention to what I wear. Once you're past the mentor session or demo, training, all that, you can kind of have the freedom to wear whatever, but they do prefer the blue t-shirt, and that also looks better while you're in the application process, even if it's just a Skype meeting with your recruiter. I even had my recruiter, comment that she appreciated my blue shirt. So pull out the blue t-shirt. I'm going to be having a company one made, though, I think this weekend. That's my goal. I'll put the Dada logo on it too, and I think I'm going to go with like a periwinkle, a light blue that's closer to the true blue of the company colors. So pull out that light blue t-shirt and wear it for all of your meetings while you're in the app process. Ignore what I wear. So that's number one. Number two, at Dada there's a stricter tattoo policy than at VIP Kids. They don't want visible tattoos to be seen, so I have to hide mine. It's a Virginia Woolf quote. I'm such an English buff, literature buff, and I got that done when I was 21. It's a quote from her and her actual signature. So if anyone else likes Virginia Woolf, put a little shout out in the comments. She's my favorite author. If you haven't read Mrs. Dalloway, you should do it because it's the best book ever written. Postmodernism. Okay, anyways. Hide your tattoos. Second thing that you should know is that facial piercings are also not allowed at Dada. So, take out your nose ring. I'm sure they can't do anything if you have the piercing. Just don't wear the jewelry during the app process or have it visible when you're teaching. I can imagine parents might comment, so I would just follow that. So another thing you should know about Dada while you're in the process is that they start all classes with a warm-up activity, which if you're like me and you're coming from another company like VIP Kids, this is unusual. It's not about racing against the clock. It's about really connecting and getting to know your student, which is nice. But warm-up activities can be a little bit stressful to plan. It requires a little bit of prep time, which you might not have depending on how much notice you get before class. Some fun activities that I like to do include, kind of categories. Everyone's played categories. Maybe our students haven't before, but I'm sure all of, you teachers know how to play that. And I'll just kind of randomly shuffle my alphabet cards, which even if you don't print and laminate alphabet cards, you should at least have some index cards that you can use as flashcards. And I'll say, okay, I'm going to set the timer for 3 minutes. Make me a list of 10 words that all start with the letter M and go with the theme vacation. And then, I don't know, Mickey Mouse for Disneyland, whatever. What else? So then they can, start to make that list, and you'll set the timer, and that's really fun for the intermediate and advanced levels. For a beginner, you might want to do something like tic-tac-toe. I also have actually some printouts that are fun. I have some magnetic warm-up games. One of them is for more advanced levels. It's a subject-predicate cookie jar. And what you have is 2 jars. One says subject and the other says predicate. And you put the cookies that have words that are either a subject or a predicate into the right jar. So, you'll hold up a cookie and say, where does this one go? And then you put it in the subject if it's, she, he, it, her, whatever. That's fun, but again, know what level your student is. I'll put those files in the group files for you, so you'll have them. And, keep it simple. You don't want to have to explain something with a lot of directions or that's kind of complicated. And make it age appropriate and show the student you listen to them and make it about their interests. So that's the warm-up. Let's see. You want to use a lot of TPR, and that can be a whole nother video. I think I'll actually work on that next. The kind of TPR I like to do is I'll say, "Hello, my name is Teacher Leanne. What is your name?" And one thing about TPR is, when you're kind of indicating that you're going to listen, some people, your kind of inclination is to go like this, and then they can't see your face anymore, and if you're still talking, that's going to be a problem. They don't have your lips to kind of read. So make sure that you're keeping your face forward when you're cupping your ear, and give them adequate wait time, to respond, so that you're not rushing them or cutting them off. See what other TPR. Make sure you're using instructional TPR when you're, in your demo lesson or in your mentor session. So, instructional, meaning you're giving directions or you're going over important words, vocabulary, maybe teaching something subject specific. When I go over vocabulary, I first say the word and point literally to my mouth as I'm saying it. So, car. And then I'll make sure that they got the pronunciation right and say it back to me. Once they've done that at least one time, then you can repeat it with the silly voices, car, car. And, because you want to make sure that they're grasping the vocab. You don't need to be quite as over-the-top animated at Dada as you do in other companies. But it's just become part of my teaching style at this point to emphasize new words with silly voices, so I do it. So that's that. Make sure you're also just starting off your class connecting with your student. Ask them what they like to do. Ask them what their favorite subject is in school. Depends on the grade level. How old are they? What is their favorite color? What's their, favorite toy's name? If it's a really little kid, maybe they want to use that toy in the lesson. You just always want to be thinking of things you can talk to your student about that will keep them engaged in the lesson, and, you can have in your toolkit to call upon if you're having any behavior issues, or maybe a kid's really struggling and you thought that using their toy as a prop could help, because sometimes it does. It's not, something essential to know if you're early in the app process, but if you're preparing for your demo lesson, that might be something that helps you. Let's see. So when you're at Dada and you're teaching a lesson off the slides, there's no pressure about time. Don't feel like you need to get through the whole lesson. You'll learn in your training session that, about 50% of the slides is the goal, but the most important part is that they're learning and that they're extending the content and answering, able to answer your questions about that content, just showing that they really absorbed it. And a good way to do that is to start by unpacking what the pictures mean. So I'll usually say, "What is happening in this picture?" I'll circle it with my mouse, and then I'll, listen to their response. And if you don't think they've 100% aligned, the idea of the content that you're about to read, you could extend further, or, throw a couple suggestions out there, or ask if it's possible that this is happening, just to kind of redirect if you have to. But it's a good practice at Dada, especially in the demo or mentor sessions, to show that you're thinking about what the pictures mean and how they connect to the story. You also want to make sure your student's doing all of the talking. So, maybe not all of the talking, but the majority of the talking should be the student. Try for 70-30, 70% student, 30% teacher, but at least 50-50. You really want to make sure that they are doing the majority of the talking. That makes you look good to the parents, and it also makes you look good to your mentor or to your, recruiting and quality assurance team, QA team, if you're in the demo. So get the kid talking. Feedback is important at Dada. You will not get paid for classes that you don't give feedback to. So make sure that you're giving feedback and you're covering all the areas required of you. You need to give a letter grade for the student. Ranges from A to B minus. Don't quote me on the B minus. I believe that's the lowest. I don't think there's a C. So you'll give them a letter grade for the lesson, and then you'll also note down anything they struggled with, anything that they did exceptionally well. You'll also assign homework in that feedback section, although there is a new tab on the Data app now where you can post homework. But a lot of teachers still do it in the feedback. So go ahead and put it in your feedback if you're not sure that you have a good grasp on how to use the homework tab. Homework can be a simple worksheet that you can find off of a resource like teacherspayteachers.com. I've referenced that before in past videos. It's also good for assigning homework since they have pre-developed worksheets that are based on specific content. So you could search, phonics, you could search vowels, you could search, anything, conjunctions, and I'm sure there's a worksheet for that. So make sure you assign homework. Always bookmark. This is really important. When you're in your demo session, make sure that you bookmark, and you'll learn where that is in your training session on the portal. But you need to bookmark where you ended off so that that student can continue exactly from that point on in their next lesson. So just remember that. Remember to give them all 5 stars. If they've done a good job throughout the lesson, they get very excited about that. They can use those stars to buy things. So make sure you give them their stars. Let's see. Secondary reward system is good too, as I've talked before, to reinforce the stars. Oh, important, your download and upload speed should be a minimum of 10 megabytes per second, and they will test this for you at the very first step at the interview. So right off the bat, you could know if your connection is adequate or not. You may want to test that ahead of time so that you're not ruled out if it doesn't pass the test in your interview. And at Data, they do recommend an Ethernet cable be connected to your router. There we go. I got technical there. Anyways. Talked about free talk, talked about warm-up. Just checking my notes to make sure I didn't leave anything out. See, so, I learned these things the hard way in the crash test so that you guys don't have to. So, just making sure I covered everything in my notes. Another good thing to do in the demo is review their past homework, even if you weren't the teacher. I did that, but my students said they didn't have homework. Doubted that, but maybe, since it was Chinese New Year. Just ask if there's anything you were assigned last class, and it's also a good refresher for them, and also for you. You can find a way to work it into your next lesson or package it up in a transitional way. There's a nice app for sound effects you can download. It's called Soundbox, and it gives you little silly sounds that, like a horn beeping in a car, that you can just press randomly in a lesson and, take the kid by surprise. And I'm sure they think that's really silly. I haven't used that yet. There's also a screen software called Minicam. If you're a Mac user like myself, you won't want to use that. You'll want to use eyeglasses. But Minicam is software that kind of puts graphics over the screen. So, you can feed a fish in a fish tank for your student, or you can make a reward system of like silly, goofy, facial accessories like glasses or mustache or cowboy hat, and, you keep adding the prop. I haven't used that yet. I did read that you can request a classroom to be set up for you to test Minicam software out in. I think that's very cool, so that the pressure is not on you to have that work successfully in one of your classes with a live student. If I do decide to download the eyeglasses software, that's how I would first try it out. But you're welcome to see if there's truth to that. As I said, I haven't tried that yet. Be careful about correcting pronunciation. I mean, these parents are paying a lot of money, and they really, really want their kid to fully understand English and become bilingual is the eventual goal. So a lot of parents do know English, and if you don't correct that pronunciation, then they will, and you definitely don't want that. So be listening very carefully. It's hard sometimes to think so much about what you're going to say and how you're going to say it, and also listen. But listening has to be the most important part of that. So, I wear red lipstick. I think it helps me look more alive and alert and awake in the mornings. But certainly, if that's not your thing, don't worry about that. Do whatever you got to do to look awake. Let's see, what else? Blue shirt, cover up tattoos, cover piercings, red lipstick if that's your style. Definitely TPR, just to review everything. Start with a warm-up activity. Ask them questions about who they are, their interests, get to know them. Extend the lessons through pictures, ask them questions constantly. Have fun. I mean, really, that's the most important part of this job, is just have fun. When you're having fun, your student's going to have fun too. Don't be so nervous or so scared that, you're stiff and tense, and, just loosen up, have some fun. We've got an awesome job. We're so lucky to be able to do this and make money playing with someone's kid. I mean, really, it's great. If I can't play with my 1-year-old and get paid, then, I'm gonna make someone else's kid laugh and have fun in the process. So, and they're just so adorable. They really are. They're so sweet, and there's something unique and different about all of them, to be learned and taken away from. So have fun, and if you're preparing for a mentor session, trust me, I know how awkward those are, to pretend an adult is a kid. I don't really know why they do them, but they do, and we just have to try to pretend the best we can that it's normal and not at all weird to talk to a 50-year-old like they're 5, but that's really all I have. So comment, anything in the comments that, you have a specific question about. Send me a PM if you'd rather do that. But I'm just here to help you walk through the process, so use me. All right. Oh, and if you found my videos helpful, please do sign up with my referral link, which is in the pinned post, if you are just beginning your data ABC process. It's nice that the company will give me a little, pay for the work that I do that goes out of the way to help you guys get hired. So it's just a nice way to, keep my ability to continue recording these videos and sharing information with you. All right, so PM me any questions, and good luck. You're going to do great. Bye.